welcome back to Bloom with Becca. What's up, my little besties? How are we? Welcome to episode 21. For this episode, we are going to be talking all things spring. I feel like some of the episodes recently have been quite heavy. They've been quite personal. And I asked you guys over on Instagram, what do you want to hear? What episode ideas have you got? You guys actually gave me a bunch of really good ones. I feel inspired. But one that I really liked, and I suppose I do like to do the seasonal, how to romanticize autumn, winter, etc. So I might as well make it a thing. Yeah, we're just gonna have a nice little girly chat. I'm gonna tell you how to get excited for spring. I thought it'd be fun to do a little quick seasonal favorites because I don't have a ton, so I don't want to make it a whole episode. Make sure you listen all the way through so you don't miss that, and let's get into it. Hello. Welcome to my bed. If you're listening to this and you're not watching, that sounds very inappropriate and weird. This is a Becca in bed episode. No, okay, wait, we can't call it that. That sounds very wrong. I'm filming this in my bed. This is a video podcast. I always say that if you don't know. The video is on Spotify, so if you're listening to this on Spotify, you can take a little sneak peek at this new background. What a joke. I don't know if this works or not. I thought it was nice. I thought it would make this more relaxed. If you're listening, I am slumped up against my headboard of my bed. I think it makes it cozy. I've got a cup of tea here. I think it will just heighten the naturalism that I want to get across with my episodes. Ah, lovely. Grab yourself a drink, guys, because we're going to have a lovely wee chat. Yeah, I love how my old background, I was trying to be all professional with like the Bloom with Becca logo in the back, sitting at my desk, all very, like, it's not the most professional setup. I don't know who I'm kidding. Yeah, we've probably gone a step backwards, haven't we? Oh, well, it's chill. And I mean, it's not going to affect your listening experience. I am actually so curious as to who watches this, like the whole way through. I never watch podcasts, rarely. I think it's nice to have the option. That's why I do it. But yeah, I don't like, we get some views on YouTube. We got more listens on Spotify. So I feel like, yeah, obviously there's more people listening as opposed to watching. But I find it curious, like, how important is the visual experience for you of a podcast? Because maybe this is not it. I don't know. But this is a nice little cozy setup for me. I'm loving it. Hello, I'm excited for this podcast. I think, like I said in the intro, it's nice to just do a slightly more lighthearted episode. Like, for example, last week, the get to know me, but actually in a really vulnerable way and admitting things that I'm embarrassed to talk about. I love doing episodes like that because I feel like it makes us closer. I get the sweetest messages from you guys when I talk about certain things that you resonate with. It does require like a whole other part of my brain that I don't know if it's always switched on every week. So sometimes it's nice to just have a more low-key episode. And I hope this is just relaxing to listen to. I hope I do kind of almost bring that balance with this podcast. We talk about serious things sometimes, but it's also just, it's nice and chill. I really don't have much to update you on, actually. Easter is very much around the corner. Next week, I am off to Amsterdam. Will and I, we have been on holiday this year, but like, we've just, we've just been to like Ireland and Edinburgh, literally visiting our families within the UK. So it's, yeah, we've not had like a go on a plane holiday yet. And we were considering going somewhere hot, but you know what? Like this time of year in Europe, there's nowhere that's like all that hot unless you go to like the Canary Islands, and we just weren't really feeling it. So a place that I have wanted to go with Will for so long is Amsterdam. I went to Amsterdam a couple of years ago now with one of my best friends, and that was my first time going, and I loved it. Oh my word, I loved it. Don't get me wrong, not for those reasons. It's a beautiful city. It's a really beautiful city. There's a lot of history. The canals, we did like a boat trip along the canal. It was so beautiful. It was crazy seeing the red light district and all of that. But yeah, I'm excited to do it with Will because he's literally not been since he was 15. Love Amsterdam, and it's not that far. It's like a 1-hour flight from London, so we're gonna do that for a few days. I'm really excited. This week has been very busy. Like, I just feel I've been pulled in every direction. This is one of the weeks where it feels like everything's happening right now, which is good. And oh my God, I do not mean to complain because there's been a lot of stuff. Like, I'm not going to talk about it because how dare I jinx it, but like personal stuff. And I mean, if you know, you know, that I've been trying to make it happen for like the past year. So yeah, there's a lot happening. But I'm grateful for it. I don't know. I've just felt a little less focused this week. I'm so bad. I'm the kind of person who, like, if I want to do something properly and like really get into something, I have to focus all my energy on it. I'm really bad at jumping from task to task, and I know that is a skill. If you have it, I so look up to you, someone who can work on this little thing and then they can completely like shift their brain into this mode and go pay attention to that for a bit and jump between. I cannot do that. I'm someone who's like, today's an editing day for this one video and I want to be fully in it, and that's all I'm thinking about. So if I'm doing that, but then I have to do a little bit for this, and then someone's calling me about this, and then that my brain is really bad with that, but we're training it because that's literally adulting, that you have to be available for a million different things. It's all good, but yeah, this week's been really busy and I just feel a bit behind with work, but I'm trying not to let it get to me. I feel like this podcast might be a little bit shorter. I hope that's okay, this episode. And yeah, that's kind of my update. One of my best friends, Emmy, I don't know if any of you follow her. I'm sure some of you follow her. Her life has literally changed actually in the past month because she's really got into reading. She started what's it called? A Court of Thorns and Roses. You know that series? The ACOTAR series? Is that what people call it? Honestly, I didn't think it would be my thing. So I'm going to start it. I know I'm very, very late to this book. Like, I know so many people love it and rave about it. But yeah, I'm excited to let you know what I think because I am going to give it a go. I've not been on my reading game recently. And I think I just need a real good like page turner book to get back into it. Honestly, my mind has just been like here, there, and everywhere, but that's not an excuse. I think reading in the evening is a nice way to unwind, and I want to get back into that habit. Okay, so spring is my least favorite season. I'm not saying I dislike spring, but I'm very much like, I think autumn's my favorite, the colors and everything. I do love winter, Christmas, New Year. I love winter fashion. And then I love summer. I love summer in London as well. I think it's very vibey. Spring, for me, is kind of one of those like, it's that season that's like, I would rather just get to summer. I'd rather that summer was longer. And like, truthfully, spring in the UK, I don't think it's anything special. And I like spring fashion's okay. It's not my favorite thing. I think the older I get, the more I appreciate spring, but kind of more like what it represents. Obviously, New Year starts January 1st, but the weird thing is like January 1st, especially if you live somewhere like the UK, you are still in the middle of winter. You are in the depths of winter. Like, we're in hibernation mode, and sometimes you're not wanting to start the year like super productive and jumping into your goals, setting all your goals. I think like spring is a pretty good time to start as well. Represents like a fresh start, right? Things are blooming. There's going to be more daylight. Oh, I'm so ready for it. And it feels like you can actually do things with your evenings now. Like, it feels like we're exiting hibernation. Go see your friends more. Go outside more. Actually make the most of it. You don't have to wear like your heavy ass knitwear and massive jacket anymore. Step one, the first thing I like to do to mentally get myself in the mood for spring is actually already to revise the kind of goals I set for myself in January. Now, if you're not a big goals person, fair enough. I think it's literally fair enough if you just take the first like 2-3 months of the year to work out what you want from this year. But yeah, don't feel guilty if like you've set these goals and you haven't really been cracking on with them. They haven't really been happening for you. I think now's the time to get inspired and also have more clarification of what you actually want. So if you're like me and you do like goal planning and you like it being quite strategic, I know my brain and I know she needs that discipline of making time for goal planning. So I want you to set aside time, even make it fun. Like take yourself to a coffee shop, take yourself on a little date, treat yourself to a coffee, get out your cute planner, Notion, wherever you plan your goals, and just spend half an hour, really focusing in, tuning in to what you want from this year. Genuinely, things could have changed from the start of the year to now, so bear that in mind. But yeah, I want you to basically conduct a goal review with yourself. I learn every single year like how important it is to have SMART goals, SMART. That's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based goals. Because it's one thing just writing down like, oh, this year I want to start a business, or this year I want to really get into the gym. No, and I've learned this the hard way. Like that is not enough for me. I know the value in coming up with more of an actionable plan, actionable steps, and breaking it up so it doesn't feel so overwhelming. So if you did set your goals in January, I want you to review each goal, genuinely review your progress. For me, one of the biggest goals I set was to start taking the gym seriously, like prove to myself that I can be one of those people who keeps a promise to themselves and actually goes to the gym. Like I like 3-4 times a week, not 5 or 6. Like it doesn't have to be my whole life, but really get to a place where I'm being consistent enough, I'm sticking to a program, and I can feel myself getting stronger, and I really feel like I'm doing that. A goal that I haven't been great at is my reading goal. I started the year strong. I read a couple books in January. That sounds like nothing to some people, but for me, reading 1 book a month is good for me, and I would be very happy with that. But in February, I didn't read. It's now almost the end of March. I haven't completed a book. I've like tried some. So that's a goal that like, is it still important to me? I need to think about that. Like, do I actually want to keep that on my goals list? If so, let's like break up little steps I can do to get there. Challenge myself. I'm gonna make myself read a chapter every evening, because that is more than manageable. Isn't gonna result in me reading a whole book within a month. Most likely it will not. However, it will get me in that habit of reading again. I don't know, finding a book that I actually want to like get my teeth into. So, and really like note your accomplishments as well. I think we really like focusing on what we're not doing, what we haven't managed to do, what's not working for us. If you just forget to like focus on the accomplishments and milestones that you have achieved or you're on track to achieve, then you're just going to constantly feel behind. Like you do need to focus some energy on that. I don't know, when you do reach a milestone, what do you do? Do you reward yourself? Do you have like a little reward bank? I know some people will have something like on their wish list, whether it's a new bag, perfume, or like cooking appliance, whatever it might be, something they really want. And like maybe they could just buy it for themselves. But it's almost that really satisfying feeling if you attach it to a goal that you want to hit, and you tell yourself, you almost give yourself that incentive, like, oh, if I do that, then I will buy myself that. And so yeah, I like getting in the habit of creating these sort of regular check-ins with my goals, because I've had years in the past where I write this lengthy goal list with like no actionable steps or anything. You know, come the end of the year, sure, I've ticked off some of them. A lot of them I've forgotten about, and then I kind of feel bad about it. A lot of them, sure, like I didn't do, but I'm maybe in a place where I'm like, well, you know, it doesn't actually matter. It in the end wasn't that important to me, and that's fine as well. But literally just doing like a little, that's why I like to time it up with the seasons, doing almost your quarterly check-ins, etc. So you've had Q1 in the world of business talk, it's been and gone. So what I've done is made myself goals to achieve by summer. For the next 3 months, what do I really want to focus on, and what do I want to have achieved? Okay, obviously spring is the perfect time to freshen up your home, your physical space, but I also think your mental well-being, your mental state as well. So of course, spring clean. I am telling you now, do a little declutter. It feels so good, and it doesn't have to be your whole home. Like, I mean, if you did like a big declutter at the start of the year, or like, you know, your wardrobe's kind of up to date, then, you know, obviously don't worry about it. Don't spend your time on it. But I guarantee you there's a drawer in your home, there's a cupboard in your home that you have neglected. Spend some time on it. I know exactly which cupboard I'm thinking of right now. It's so true what they say, like if you want to make space for new things, and I'm not talking like physical things, I'm not necessarily focusing on that, but yeah, clutter creates blocks. And I mean, if you want to go for a full-on spring clean your home top to bottom, fair enough. Something I love doing this time of year. I am the kind of person who likes to treat myself to like a fresh bouquet of flowers regularly. I think it's a really nice way to add color to your home, but more so than ever spring. I love tulips, and obviously they're everywhere right now. Really random one, but I kind of love doing it, is buying myself like a new bedspread. I don't like having too many bed sheets, but for example, like if you're watching this, then I am on my bed, so this is the right time to talk about it. But I got myself some like light dusty pink covers. What do you call them? Pillow covers, whatever. Just like that small little pop of color I've added to my bedroom. A nice color that makes me think of spring. If you want to treat yourself to like a new piece of decor, then go ahead. I got myself, it's on my bedside table, but just like a tiny little pink coffee table book that's really cute. Don't go crazy. I really am not trying to like shove consumerism down your throat. I'm just saying, if you've been like eyeing up a cute bit of decor that's gonna make you happy. Same goes with like, maybe there's a cute dress that you've been eyeing up, but it's been too cold. Oh, alongside like decluttering your home and everything, it's time to switch your wardrobe maybe. I haven't done this yet because I feel like the weather is not there yet, but I will be doing it soon. Just switching around and updating my wardrobe so that my more like summery clothes are easier to access. A random one that I love doing is actually changing up the scents within my home. I feel like I'll have the same candles and scents for a whole season. You know how it is, like candle companies sell spiced cinnamon during autumn and then like snowflake candle cookies, Christmassy stuff for winter. So spring, I like to bring in more fresh floral scents into my home. I love using an oil diffuser. My one is from White Company. I love it. I tend to just stick to the same scent for months. So when there's a new season, I do like to kind of switch it up, and then, I don't know, it puts me in the headspace of like a new start, something different, something fun. Talking about decluttering for your mind, I think it's actually important to reduce your screen time. I think it's a good time to do a digital declutter. I say this every season. I don't think you can do enough of these because even though it's not taking up physical space, but like all the shit on here on your phone takes up a lot of space in your brain. So whether it's going through your photo gallery, deleting old apps, unsubscribing to a bunch of email listings that you're on, all of that good stuff. Big thing is just making the most of getting out more. I know, like I said, if you're in the UK, it's not that warm yet at all, but as long as it's dry, then I think it is nice to get out there more. And like I said, there's more daylight now, so it's nice to like do something with your evening to start getting in the mood for summer. So make the effort to like go out for walks. Right now I can see out my window flowers blossoming and like the light pinks and everything, and it is really pretty, and being out in it puts you in a good mood. I have been meaning to get into running again. Like I've barely ran this year. Maybe try something new. Try doing something with yourself. You don't necessarily have to like wait up on a friend, but if you want to try something like a pottery class or a new yoga class, just like, again, those new beginnings, go take yourself for a little like picnic date in the park. Or obviously that's like a really nice thing to do with a friend, but you could absolutely do it with yourself. I had to mention this because it's me, but I do love changing up my routines when there's a new season, just to like fit the season a bit better. So now that it's lighter, I'm trying to get myself to get up a little bit earlier. I love being up for the sunrise from my flat. Not every day obviously, but when there's a nice sunrise, it looks beautiful and it puts me in such a good mood. Honestly, it makes me so happy. And I know in summer, even when the weather's better, it's sunnier, the skies are blue, but I find in the mornings, obviously like the sun rises really early, so I miss it most of the time. They're a lot more hazy, and so I don't know, just like less pretty. This is still that point of the year, from my opinion, where the sunrises are really pretty and they're not at like 4 a.m. Anyway, that's all I had to say. I feel like I always have way more to say about winter, autumn, summer. Spring, like I said, is my least favorite season, but that doesn't mean that we hate her. So I'm going to move on. I'm going to do a quick little segment on my seasonal favorites. This is so random. I sat down way too long, like an embarrassing amount of time. I don't want to admit how long it took me to think of just these few things, because I feel like I haven't been shopping that much recently, which is good. That is a good thing. I'm not saying it's not. That I have a handful of things that I have been loving doing, eating, watching, wearing, putting on my face. Yeah, various different things. Okay, I'm gonna start with food. So random, but adding kimchi to like everything. I used to be kind of on the fence with kimchi. I am not a fussy eater. Like I like most things, but kimchi was one that I was on the fence about. I had it by itself. I have been adding it to like my scrambled eggs. If I'm having rice, been adding it just on top of like so many different meals. Oh, it is so good. I think it is also quite good for you. It's like a fermented food. I take that with a pinch of salt. I have no idea. I don't know what I'm talking about. I've just heard that before, that it is actually quite good to add into your diet. So that's a plus. And it's also delicious. If you follow my Instagram, like my regular one, not the Blue and Becca one, then you would have seen this already. But okay, I'm going to tell you about my favorite snack at the moment. This sounds very boring, but it's so good. If you've never done it, you have to try it. I am someone who, when I buy a pack of wraps, to like tortilla wraps, I rarely use them up, and then they go moldy, and I find it very annoying because we don't like food waste. So I've been just making my little tortilla chips at home. I literally will slice them up into little triangles and then pop them in the oven for 5 minutes. That's it. So it's so easy. And then I love having them with this like chive and onion dip, like any of those kind of dips. I love like a good creamy dip. So delicious. Doesn't sound that exciting, but I'm someone who, okay, like I said, I'm not fussy, but there are a select few foods in this world that I just don't like, and nachos for some reason is one of them. Unpopular opinion, yes, I know. I don't know why they don't taste good in my mouth. And also when you buy those, like, you know, like the nacho salsa dips, don't like those. They're just not yummy, in my opinion. So this is my equivalent, and I way prefer it. Okay, I, again, have spoken about this, I think on YouTube, but the Twinings, is that how you pronounce the brand? Twinings tea? That's bad that I don't know that. That is like horrendously un-British of me that I can't pronounce that brand, but you know what I'm talking about if you're British. Their glow tea. It's like in pink packaging. It's one of their more herbal teas. I've got it up here. It's their Glow Super Blends tea. So it has like strawberry, cucumber, green tea, and aloe vera. When your skin and hair glows, you radiate confidence and feel great. So I guess, yeah, that's why they call it glow, because it's meant to help make your skin and your hair look good. I don't know. I genuinely like haven't been having it for that reason. I just love like a herbal tea in the evening or middle of the day if I don't want another coffee. It's so nice. Like it actually tastes so good. It's so refreshing. And I think it's the perfect tea for spring. I don't know if it's placebo effect because the packaging's pink. So I kind of think of it as this nice like girly spring tea. Okay, moving on to like fashion. My favorite scent at the moment is Peony Blush Suede from Jo Malone. Jo Malone's probably like my favorite perfume brand. I wear Jo Malone basically every day. I think it's like the perfect everyday scents. I once had an appointment at Jo Malone. It was like a PR thing, which was a pinch me moment because I love the brand. But the lady who I was talking with, she said how they have like less chemicals compared to other perfumes or something like that, like way less ingredients in the Jo Malone perfumes. So what's cool about Jo Malone is how you can, this sounds like an ad. This is not an ad. I'm just a big fan. I know a lot of people love Jo Malone because they're great. But she said like you can easily combine different scents and it's not going to be overpowering. Like if you grab 2 YSL perfumes, I love YSL perfume, by the way. But if you were to mix 2, you're going to create some horrific overpowering scent that does not work. With Jo Malone, I have 2 different perfumes. Sometimes I will combine them and then you've basically created yourself like this unique scent. I'm not saying nobody on the planet has thought to combine those 2, but like, you know what I mean? It's just a cool way of like, if you fancy something a bit different. Random one, fashion. Is this a fashion trend? I feel like it's a bit of a trend right now, but like barrel-shaped trousers, barrel-shaped jeans, you know, the ones that like really come out. I feel like they're not everyone's cup of tea because they are quite, I mean, they're not that statement-y in the world of fashion. But for everyday wear, they're a bit more of a statement as opposed to like mum jeans or really baggy jeans. They've just got like a very particular shape, like a barrel. I really like them. I don't know if it's because I'm quite a wide shoulder girly. I have quite wide shoulders. Like my shoulders definitely wider than my hips. And so I feel like with baggy jeans, it almost, I don't know, evens me out. That sounds terrible. Portions things out. However you want to word it. It was around a year ago that I realized I have quite wide shoulders because I'm quite a petite girl. And sometimes I would look at myself when I'd be wearing like a tank top or something, or like a particular top where just like my shoulders are really out. And I never really knew why that didn't suit me. I honestly didn't know that I had like wide shoulders. And then someone mentioned it like, oh, you've quite wide shoulders. And then I realized like, oh, yeah, you're right. That is my build. And at first I was a little bit insecure about it, which is dumb because like it's not an unattractive feature. But now, especially with like working out, and I've had it's like really cool to see myself get more defined and stronger on my upper body. I actually quite like my shoulders. My manly ass shoulders. No, they're not manly, but my broader shoulders. Another favorite, Polly, the brand, who mostly do like fancy dresses, right? I actually love their basics range, and I feel like a lot of people don't talk about it. I feel like we see a lot of their bow and tee. I know they've put a lot of money into like marketing their bow and tee fitness active range, but I actually love their basics range. I don't know, the material so nice. It's a bit cheaper than like Skims, but with Opoly, their basics, like they're really nice. I think they are a decent price point. Skincare, I only have a couple things because I don't like to change things up a lot. You guys know I had acne last year, and so I'm very careful about like testing new skincare, and I love Skin and Me. I'm not going to talk about it because I talk about it so much. Things that I recently added into my skincare routine: a red light therapy mask. Amazing. It, I think, is one of those things you have to do for a while to really see the benefits of it. It like targets your skin's dermal layer, I believe, and helps to just like rejuvenate your skin, and so your skin looks like plumper. It helps with the appearance of wrinkles, all of that stuff. So yeah. Another thing I've been loving, Dr. Jart sheet masks. They do the best sheet masks. I don't know what it is. They never irritate my skin. I have quite sensitive skin, and for some reason like acne prone recently, even though I've never had that before. They never break out my skin. They just leave it feeling like very hydrated. If you need like a good boost of hydration and you want to get your skin looking good, healthy, glowy, use one of them. I have used so many and I love all of them. I don't actually have a favorite. Makeup, I have one, but the Vive black ink liner, I think it's called that. Best eyeliner applicator wand, whatever you want to call it, I have ever used. Like, it's so precise. Who is it? It's Jamie Genevieve, isn't it? I think that's her brand, Vive. Yeah, so good. They've done amazing with that product. Socials, I have been loving Here for the Crack with Emma Neal. I love her podcast. It's like probably my comfort podcast, just the podcast I listen to every week. She could literally talk about anything and I would listen. And then the Nutritionist on Instagram. So many good recipes. I don't know, and also recipes that are like not super hard to make. When you make them, they actually come out right. And really easy to follow recipes as well. I really, really love her. It's in the name. She is a nutritionist, so she likes to make sure that her meals are well-rounded and like, you know, giving you all the goodies, but also are yummy. Media recommendation. I feel like I always talk about film recommendations or like TV show recommendations on this podcast, so I'm just going to keep this short because there's something new every week. But right now, and this is not new, but Will and I have been watching White Lotus. Listen, like if you haven't seen it, I actually recommend it so much. We watched one episode ages ago and I don't know why we didn't revisit it, just didn't get into it. But it's like it's dark humor and I love it. It's about this like bougie ass resort, I think in Hawaii, and just a bunch of like white rich people that come to stay there, and they're just like, they're crazy. It's hilarious, so funny. Tech. All I have is my Apple Watch, and I literally spoke about that last week, but I have been loving having an Apple Watch. Like I said, it's not necessarily that I like the look of it. I'm literally not wearing it right now, I forgot. But I love having something that tracks like your health metrics and stuff. I've seen a lot of people have been trying out the Aura Ring. I'm kind of curious about that. Apparently it can even detect like when you're getting sick, or it's really good for your sleep metrics, like how long you're in your REM, etc. Very interesting. Like I said, I wanted to keep that super short, so we're going to end the episode there. My camera's actually going to die, so I'm trying to wrap this up really quickly. Next week, I kind of want to do an episode about like unpopular opinions. I love listening to those episodes, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, thank you so much for tuning in to another week of Bloom with Becca. I will see you guys next week. Sending all my love. Have a good one. Thank you, my loves, for listening to this week's episode of Bloom with Becca. Be sure to follow the Bloom with Becca Instagram page to get involved each week with your questions, your stories, your thoughts on different topics, all that good stuff. I'll see you guys next week for a new episode. Love you. Bye.